If you love this and this and this, and especially this, then you are in the right place, because today I am teaching you exactly how to recreate my holiday garland and wreaths. All the steps from beginning to end. Now, if you want to recreate the look at your home, you can grab all of the pieces that I'm using at ashleychilders.com in our holiday collection, which just dropped last week. All the garlands and picks and bells and everything that you need to recreate the look. Now, first things first, I had to clear away all the pumpkins and mums and fall plants from my porch to create a blank slate for the Christmas decor. Next up, it is time for garland, one of my all-time favorite garlands, by the way. I'm going to show you exactly how to hang that to get the designer look. Okay, now that that is done and we are ready to start with our base layer for the garland. So first things first, I want to talk about what you need to attach your garlands to your house. So I have 3 screws that are in the mortar between the bricks around the front door. And I love that because they're really stable and I can put as much weight on them as I want to, so I can have some really heavy garland if I want to. Second, you need something to attach your garland to, your nails or screws or whatever. And I'll be honest, this is my favorite. It's like a wrapped twine, and I love it because it's a very natural color. It's really sturdy. So this is my favorite. Got it at a craft store. And then just floral wire. You could use a little pipe cleaner, honestly, if you wanted to do that. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you get pretty long pieces so that you have enough length to weave in multiple garlands if you want. Second thing is, what garlands are you gonna use? So I am gonna start the base layer with this willow pine garland. Now this is a part of our holiday collection that is on ashleychilders.com right now. And let me tell you what, this garland sells out every single year. It's really beautiful. It's soft. It's at least 6 foot tall. And I love it because it's whimsical and wispy, but it also holds its shape. So you can like fluff it out and it stays really nice and fluffed. Now, I like to double it up, and I'm not 100% sure how many garlands I'll use around the front door, but I'll let you know as I'm decorating it. I think I'll probably end up using 10 or 12. I've got some extra. Okay, let's decorate. Got the wire up and ready to go. Now it's time to hang garland. So I'm going to show you a little decorator trick. I've got 4 garlands here. So 2 in this hand, 2 in this hand. And regardless if you use our willow pine garland or a garland that you already have, the needles most of the time are going to go in one direction. So if you take the 2 garlands and the needles are facing down and you overlap them slightly in the center and then wire them together, what's going to happen is when you start in the center of your doorway, it's going to make a really beautiful spray, and then all the needles are going to fall the correct way, draping over the doorway instead of like some of them splaying out and some of them drooping down. I know that looks crazy. We're not leaving it like that, but I've got the center secured. So now I want to go ahead and secure the top corners, and then I'll drape the center pieces outward and over them so that the pine needles will lay really pretty on top of each other. If you've noticed, I haven't woven the 2 garland strands together yet because I like to do that once they're installed. I think that you can just get a better like fluff if you do it when the garland is actually up around the door, because then everything is like hanging the way that it needs to hang. We've got the centerpiece up. I know it doesn't look great yet, just give it some time. So now I'm going to take the side piece of the center and I'm going to bring it over, and then this way, see how it'll lay nicely over the corner there? Kind of pull it up as high as you want it. It's going to drape down ever so slightly, and I like that, but I don't want it to be really droopy because I've got other things I'm going to add to the garland. Okay, so I've got it up there. Remember, this is just our base layer, and I'm going to fluff everything up and make sure that my sides match and all that, but we're already off to a good start. So let's get the other side up, and then we'll figure out how many more garlands we're going to need down each side. So we are going to end up using 12. We've got 8 around the door right now because everything's doubled up. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I've got 10, 12 to finish them. And I'm gonna show you a trick for this because this garland is coming down pretty far and we know that these are 6 feet long. So what I'm gonna do with the last 2 sets of garland is make sure they just kind of like dust the ground. I don't really like them puddling, but I do want them to be on the ground a little bit down there. And then that way, once I've got the length I want, I know where I need to attach them behind the garland that's already up. So I'm gonna do both sides. Okay, one other little trick is you'll notice that I haven't like attached the 2 strands of garland together yet. That's because I really like to fluff them individually. The ones at the top I had fluffed before I hung them, but these last 4 strands I need to fluff right now. So I'm fluffing them, and then what I'm gonna do is instead of wiring them together with the floral wire, I'm gonna actually just take a few of the pieces of the pine. I'm just gonna loop them together because they're wired. So see how they're individual strands right now, and I'm just gonna cross them over and loop them one time, and then that way it keeps my strands together, but I haven't wired them together with floral wire that may not be the exact same color as the pine. Okay, we've got our base layer up and fluffed. And now it's time for berries. These are new for us this year. I am obsessed with them. If you saw last week's video, I used them all inside around the mantle and on the banister, and I want to include them outside. So they're 72 inches long. They have a really beautiful, like deep red berry. And I love them because all of the little side shoots are wired. So you can really kind of fluff them out and intertwine them into the pine garland. So I'm gonna add these in, and then we're gonna do a few more layers. This is gonna be a really full, naturalistic, whimsical garland this year. Okay, so the same thing goes for the garland that goes for wrapping the 2 like pine garlands together. I'm going to use this like pine needles to actually wire in the berry garland. It's just an easy way to do it. You can just overlap them and twist them once, and it's gonna hold the lightweight berry garland in place, and then you don't have to worry about like zip ties or anything that's green that doesn't blend well with the pine. Okay, next up, sprays. So I'm not 100% sure what all I'm gonna use, but I wanted to show you what my options are. So I've got our cedar sprays. We sell this in the Christmas collection, and I love these because they're really full. You can kind of manipulate them because they're all wired, and they actually tie into the pine garland. Like they look very, very similar to the pine garland. So if I wanna make areas fuller, or if I wanna kind of get it a little bit more abstract and have like some fullness on one side or whatever, these are the perfect sprays for that. Then I have the cypress spray. So I like this one. It's very lifelike looking, and I just like that it adds a second texture to the garland. So I'm gonna work those in, just a few of them here and there, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a naturalistic look. And then I also have our berry sprays, which I love. I don't know if I'll use them just because I've already got the berries worked into it, but I may. So I wanted to show them to you. They're really pretty. They've got like a little bit of a light dusting, so they kind of look like they're snow-kissed. And the color of the berry is really similar. I have to play around. So sprays, here we go. So I may add a few more sprays in a minute. I don't know, I'm kind of liking the way it looks. I ended up going all the way around. I think it looks really full and beautiful. So now it's on to the next part of the equation, which is our lights. I like to use copper fairy lights for the garland. I just think it looks very like ethereal, and I love how they have a spiral effect and they kind of disappear within the garland. So I'm gonna link them below. I think this is 200 feet, but they come in like all different lengths, 100 foot, 200, 400, 600, I believe. And they have a remote, which is a bonus. So I'm gonna start weaving the lights all throughout the garland from one side to the other, and then we'll decide what else we need to add. time for ribbons. Okay, we've got our fairy lights and they look so good. And now we're going with the ribbons. Let me just tell you something. This is not fancy ribbon. I'm gonna link some similar, but I just ran up yesterday and got these at the local craft store. So there you go. But it was the right color. I really want to kind of keep the theme going that I have inside on the mantle and on the banister. And I've got these like droopy red bows in there. Got our ribbon lengths. I was able to get 4 out of each one of the rolls. It was a 10-yard roll, so I've got 90-inch pieces here. Got our ribbon, and all you're gonna do is just make little bunny ears. And I'm gonna show you, look, you're gonna make a bunny ear, but I want you to keep it like that. So pretty side to pretty side, and then make another bunny ear, pretty side to pretty side, so all the pretty sides are together, because this is, like I said, this is cheap ribbon, it's not double-sided. But then that way, when you put it on the garland, all the pretty sides are out. Now we're just gonna put our little wire around the middle of it, because the middle's not gonna show. I mean, if you wanna like get fancy and actually tie a bow, you totally could do that. I'm just gonna kind of fluff it out, make sure that our pretty sides are doing what they need to do. And then this is wired ribbon. I mean, you totally could use unwired ribbon. The one I used inside on the tree and the mantle and the banister is not wired. Okay, finishing touch is our wreaths, and I'm going to tell you a little about our wreaths that we're going to use this year. This is our 24-inch willow pine wreath, so it matches the garland. And I love how wispy and honestly kind of wild it is. And then I just layered our little gold bells. We have these on the site as well. And then I added in some silk ribbon that's the same color as the wired ribbon. And then I'm going to hang them up with this right here, guys. This is my little magic touch. So I get so many questions about how I hang wreaths on my front doors. My front doors are glass, and it's the suction cup. Now, when I bought them, they did come with a little hook, but I broke hooks off of them because they were plastic. So I'm just going to take the wire that's on the back of the wreath and just wire them onto the suction cup. Wreaths are done. Okay, I changed the ribbons. The silk ribbon doing it for me. So I had another roll of the exact same ribbon as this, except slightly wider. So for those of you that are gonna ask, I know you will. This is a 1 inch. This is a 1.5 inch. I usually do a lot bigger ribbon. If you've watched like my Christmas decor video from last year, I had like 3-inch ribbons or whatever. But this year we're doing something different. We like to change it up. So 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 24-inch willow pine wreaths. They look so good. And then these little jingle bells, which are on the site. Okay, so now that the garland is done and the wreaths are hung, I need to think about the pots on the porch. I've got 5 on each side, and I've cleared away the mums and some of the fall plants. And now it's time to add in some winter holiday interests. So I've got these hollies here. They're really pretty, and I'm gonna put some lights in them. I think those will look great. I scored these deep red pansies at the garden center, and I love them. They're gonna tie in perfectly with the ribbons that are in the garland. And then I've got Dusty Miller, and I've got some variegated ivy. I always like to add ivy into my pots, kind of spilling over the edges. And the variegated is beautiful because it works really all year round. I just think it like brings a little bit of lightness to the pots. So let me plant my plants, and we'll be just about done. Okay, so finishing touch is fairy lights on the wreaths, and I found some upstairs that are battery operated. I happen to have 2 sets. I'll link them as well. But putting those on the wreaths, and then I think we're done. Pots are done. They look great. They're gonna look good all throughout the season as long as the deer don't come and eat them, which is highly likely. But now it's fairy lights on wreaths time. Okay, so last but not least, the finishing touch is a sleigh bell. These are part of our Christmas collection. We have all different styles, and of everything in the holiday drop, the sleigh bells are my favorite. I am obsessed with them. They're made by an Amish family in Pennsylvania, all hand tanned leather, solid brass bells. And they just sound magical. So I wanted to attach one to the door, and I think I'm gonna do it on this side, and I'm just gonna do it with some wire, and then I'll add the bow. Okay, we did it. We decorated for Christmas, so everything is in place. I'm ready for the season ahead, and I really hope that you enjoyed the tutorial and that you're looking forward to decorating your home for the season as well. Now, don't forget, all the pieces that I showed today in the video are live on the Christmas collection on ashleychilders.com. And if you need a little bit more Christmas inspiration and you want to see how I decorated my tree and mantle and stairs and kitchen for Christmas, be sure to watch this video next. I will see you there.